Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Amy is leaving CKC and the industry, so I wanted to take some time today to interview her and get her words of wisdom on her way out the door. My first question is, what is your favorite tip or trick to help with data hygiene?
Data hygiene. To me, first and foremost, is it's hard to keep your system clean if you don't have someone that owns your system. So I have seen working through CKC that a lot of OFAs or the overall firm administrators, even administrators of their systems, are not really owners of the system at all. They're like an admin that is their OFA, but they don't even use CoCentral. So um, I would say having a true owner of the system who is responsible for creating that kind of maintenance plan, even if it's themselves doing all of it, at least creating a plan for themselves or and finding some other champions to help them split up that cleanup that needs to happen regularly. And I think that's a conversation with your firm is and your team, your marketing team, whoever, to decide how often that cleanup needs to happen. It depends on the size of your company, depends on how much data you have in your system. So I really just think having an owner of your system and a person in charge and responsible for creating that maintenance of your data.
Well said. I'm curious for those on the call if you have heard it called data hygiene before. Someone called me out when I said that, and I was like, well, I feel like I've heard that before, but maybe not. Stacey, have you heard data hygiene?
I haven't, but I love it.
Yeah, right? I mean, because it's so true. Like,
You're keeping it clean. It's
Yeah, I mean, I've heard health. I've heard the word health used before, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Jill, what about you?
I've not heard it, but I like it. It makes sense.
I know, right? I might coin it. I don't
Yeah.
remember where and how it kind of came out of my mouth, but I'm gonna own it now. So, data hygiene. There you go.
There you go. That's a new blog article.
Right?
Floss your data. No, I mean,
We can go a whole lot of ways with that, right?
Especially right now with all the hygiene. Right?
Sanitize. Yeah, we'll be that. What is your favorite tip or trick to increase user adoption?
Oh, user adoption. I would say for CRMs, that's probably the hardest thing to tackle for firms. I truly believe it starts at the top. Like if you don't have your firm leadership and invested in using your CRM and pushing that down to your users, that it's you're going to have a hard time being successful. So I think however you can incorporate the leadership into regular meetings about your CRM, um, and like Courtney has said before, incorporating it into annual reviews, to have some accountability for your users. Anything that doesn't just put it. I mean, you're required to use your accounting system for your timekeeping, so why would you not be required to use CRM for capturing your client and opportunity and project information? It's the same concept to me. So I would think, again, whoever your OFA or administrator is, getting leadership involved with you, pushing it out to your users, regular communication around the system of pull reports, pull as much information as you can, copy, screenshots of the dashboard and send it out or something and say, look, all the cool information that we can get from our system and how quickly you can get it updated, and, reiterate that you're using the system and everything that you are presenting to them came out of the system, and they can quickly get buy-in if you can say, hey, I pulled your new resume for your new hire in 5 minutes. So I think just as much as you can show that the value in your system is how you're going to create user adoption, not just by telling them, but by showing your users.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain was going to, is making the data that's in there vital or important. I was at a general contractor, and never thought that I would get the CEO to be my biggest champion. He never logged in, or I don't even know that he knew what the CRM's name was. But every other Monday, we would have a marketing and business development meeting. And I would pull up the grid and we would talk through the opportunities. So at least visually, he had seen it. Well, I kept hearing him talk about bonding. I'm like, what is this bonding issue? What is going on? So I dug into it. I was like, this information is all in our CRM. Why are we not pulling these reports from there? So I worked with accounting to do that. And once he was not spending hours and hours and hours in Excel pulling these reports for the bonding company and the board of directors, he was the biggest champion, because without the information being entered, his report did not work at the click of a button. So the next Monday, after we finalized the reports for him, a business developer came in to the meeting, and he was all hot to trot to talk about an opportunity and a pursuit. And the CEO said, stop. If it is not in the CRM, we are not going to hear it. And from then on, he would do that. And it was incredible, because he knew that he couldn't get what he wanted if the data wasn't in there, which really helped our user adoption.
Yep.
It looks like we had somebody join us. If you wanted to introduce yourself, your name, your company, and your role, and where you're located.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Addie McKee. I work for CKearney Construction, and I'm located in Kansas City.
Fantastic.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
No, it's okay. We were just talking about COVID-19 and how we're all scrambling to come up with messaging. And
yeah, I don't even know what to think about it, to be honest. Like,
yes.
I see like articles about, you should worry, and articles like, there's no need to worry. So I'm like, what should I do?
Right. We had asked at the beginning if you had done any marketing on it for your company.
Yeah, so I just moved from a marketing assistant position. I was helping with like proposal and pursuit development and other marketing tasks. And now I am a database coordinator working in Coast Central most of the time. So yes, this is like my first meeting, with you guys. So I'm going to learn a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. So Amy works with me at CKearney Consulting until the end of today. It is her last day, and she is leaving the industry.
Okay.
We are sad to see her go. It's been a fantastic 2-year run. And so I'm interviewing her. One of her goals was to present at a conference. We'll pretend like this is it.
Yeah.
And so I am interviewing her. We were talking about data hygiene and then user adoption.
Perfect.
So any tips for user adoptions from you guys? I know you said you were new to the role, so I'm not gonna
I
pick on
think
you.
for me, it's train, like tip sheets, tip emails, short 30-minute videos, like it's just constant training.
Yep.
That's a good point. All right, the next one. What have you seen as the biggest struggle for CRM in our industry?
Biggest struggle? User adoption. I would say, like I said, I think that's the hardest.
When you guys say user adoption, do you mean just like users using the CRM database?
Yeah, getting
And
by
knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
And knowing where to put data. Okay.
Yeah, just getting them into the system and actually using it on a daily basis, not just, logging in once a month, but actually putting in data, cleaning up data, pulling reports, like just using the system. Yeah.
I'll tag on to that and say the biggest struggle that I have seen is that when you say CRM, our industry thinks system. It doesn't think process or actually client relationship management. It thinks what technology are you using? And that is a perspective that I would love to see shift. I think that outside of AEC, B2B gets that and understands that client relationship is the client experience, it is process, it is marketing, it's business development. It's not just where you stick the contact. That's called Outlook. like I would say that is the where our industry is still behind in understanding that.
That was actually a thought in my head, was just from being in CKC and all the different clients I have touched, is a lot of the newer, like they just got their CRM, usually Cosential. A lot of the leadership, yes, they're invested in purchasing the system, but they think like, oh, you just get your data in there and then you're done. Well, no, there's processes you have to create behind it, and guidelines you need to, and naming conventions, or I mean whatever it is, but roles you need to assign to internal staff to run the system. So it's way more than just data dumping into a system. It's process, and
It's management.
it is.
Isn't that weird? The M in CRM.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in on what they see as the struggle for CRM in our industry? All right. What are the top innovations you've seen? Either our clients do or just other people mentioning?
I think I've been impressed by the number of clients I have seen figure out workarounds within their CRM. As we know, there's quirks to all of them, and they don't all do everything that we want them to do, but I have seen some very innovative workarounds, especially in Cosential, of figuring out how to track certain information and get it out of the system. Other innovations, I just think the automation in general is just going to increase in CRM systems and make hopefully our lives easier. So I definitely think automation is still the biggest thing that's going to change in the future in CRMs.
You took my next question. What do you see in the future?
Oh, well, there you go. I think more automation. I think connecting and integrations with other platforms, like the whole Zapier and MailChimp, the Power BI, I mean, all of those other systems. I think the more CRM vendors can allow those integrations to happen, the more powerful these CRMs can become, and more valuable, and probably easier to sell. So that's what I see in the future.
Going back to innovations, Jill and Abby and Stacy, do you guys have any innovations that either you've done or heard about that you would like to share?
I don't know if this is an innovation, but I've been working on dealing with IDIQs. I mean, this on-call issue is huge in every firm, and how do you deal with task orders and all of this stuff? And one of the things I've been trying to create is a report that shows the maximum value of the contract and what we currently have, so we can see our gap. And that way we can kind of feel out where we might be able to get other work or other avenues for contracting, just to see what those gaps are and keep mining those contracts. I don't know how innovative that is, but it's just something I've been trying to work on.
Yeah,
I think that's
what I would love to do is get like a CIP level, like what is the capacity that the client has in like budget, and see what our gaps are in our entire pipeline for that client from the client's budget. Like how much of their budget do we actually have in our pipeline, like that, even that higher level.
Yeah, I definitely think that could be an innovation that needs to happen. Is at least, I mean, I mainly work in Cosential, but just by what you just said, tracking some of the dollar fields, I think could definitely be more robust as far as what clients need for tracking their clients' budgets, and all of that information. It's missing. I think that's a big piece missing in CRMs, at least in Cosential.
And just seeing the trends, the trending analysis, I think is big, because right now, those of us that are data nerds just take it into Excel and do it there instead of. Now I know that there are things like Pipedrive and Tableau and Power BI that are going to sit on top of the CRM and do some of those. But I would love to see it in the system as
Yeah.
well. Future. What do you guys see in the future for client relationship management?
Or what do you want in the future?
On the topic of integrations, does your system talk to any other systems or receive information from another system? We'll go with Abby.
Yeah, we get some information from our Spectrum database that like financial accounting people use, especially for like dollar amount and like change order stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe just like integration with other platforms would be helpful. I don't really know what, just because I'm so new.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool to kind of see what I think, how things could change once I start doing this new role.
Do you have an email platform? Do you guys do email campaigns?
We don't do email campaigns, but we have like opportunities set up where we'll get emails reminding us like if a proposal is due that day or things like that. That's the only really emails, or we'll get emails when like projects are completed or if somebody's like inactive. Those are the only emails, but we don't do email campaigns. No, we do not.
Yeah, I see that being one of the top integrations that we get when marketing reaches out, is that they are sick of doing data entry, double data entry for keeping your contacts in a CRM and then exporting them and inputting them into MailChimp or Constant Contact or Emma or whatever. And instead letting those two just talk to each other. And so you enter it in one point of truth and it updates the other.
Yeah.
Jill, what about for you?
I'm not sure exactly. I feel like we might have some integrations. We're using Deltec Vision. I know I've looked into some with like Outlook and with Open Asset and stuff like that, but I'm not sure if what we have connected to the CRM right now.
Yeah. Stacy, what about you? Do you guys have any integrations?
Yes, we have a ton of integration, but that's because we're so disparate and it's ridiculous. So we have like an HR integration, we have a finance integration, we have, I think we even have a project portal. It's kind of ridiculous, but but yes, we have a lot of integration, and in terms of like other things I would love to see us integrate with, I would love to see us either integrate with or have some more client feedback stuff. Yeah, that would be an excellent avenue for us to expand.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, so that is the end of my questions. Unless you guys have a specific question for Amy, we can keep this short and sweet so we can all get back to our hand sanitizing and bleaching our offices. All right, sounds good. Well, we will be back and hopefully with our bigger crowd that we usually get the second Thursday of next month, and be on the lookout for who the guest speaker is. And if you fill out the survey and enter topics that you want to hear in the future, we will be sure to schedule those and find someone that is an expert in that area. Thank you all for calling in and participating. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Nice
Thank
meeting you.
you.
Bye.
Thanks. Keep hosting.
Bye.
Bye.